Morning lovelies, happy Friday. Tim in the woods. How's it all going? How are you all? I hope you've had a decent week, and there is plenty to be keeping us amused and interested and busy and all hands on deck. And I'm very guided this morning to talk about distractions again, and keeping focus, keeping a eye on the job, on the ball. Now, I always tend to kind of like navigate very, very carefully around sort of specific subjects, because I know they are kind of quite divisive and trigger and trigger points for many people. But I am going to discuss what's going on kind of in the news at the moment, where particularly in the United States, a certain very high profile individual has had all of their emails leaked. Now, this may be quite surprising news for some people, and for others it's for those that have been kind of like shouting from the rooftops since all of this began in February 2020. It's like, well, we told you so. You know, it's like, it's apologise to your conspiracy theory friends. You've probably seen the memes circulating on social media. But what I want to look at is the energy of what is going on behind this. Why has it become visible? Why has this occurred? Now, whenever we take our guards down, whenever we kind of relax a little bit, this is when other the kind of like the opposing energies, or the side that wish to kind of keep the planet locked down and in a state of inertia, this is when things occur. This is when they kind of implement whatever stage of the plan wherever they are at the moment. And so I feel it's almost like an out breath, or a big sense of relaxing in the feet. Like it's almost like just breathing sigh of relief, kind of flopping back in your armchair or your deck chair out in the sun, and just completely relaxing and just letting all of the cares in the world just kind of slide by. But I've got increasing kind of volumes of messages or intuition to say at this point in the proceedings, exactly where we are now, running up to the summer solstice, where we are in the northern hemisphere, and then even further, then galloping on towards the Lion's Gate afterwards. Now is the time to really intensify any of the energy work that we are doing. Now, doesn't mean that you've got to necessarily do anything different from what you've been doing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the pitch or the tone changes. All I'm being guided to say is, at this point, be extra discerning. And if you're feeling inclined to do some energy work, like say for example, grab a crystal, bring anchor light in, or you can see somewhere that needs the violet flame, or you're feeling maybe inclined to bring an anchor down a pillar of light, instead of doing it once, do it 3 times. Okay, so the whole energy behind this thinking is, as we are kind of feeling like we might be a little bit off guard, like it's time to relax, like we might have achieved a huge hurdle. Yes, we have. On one side of the coin, there is an exposure of information that has been kept hidden from a lot of people, and on the outside, this is brilliant. It's instead of the tap dripping now, it's beginning to pour, and more and more people are waking up. But nothing, and I repeat, nothing comes out in mainstream media unless it's allowed to. So what we need to, why are we being distracted on that side of the front? So all of these kind of high profile people, say politicians or people that are involved in kind of mainstream medicine, if they're suddenly being, the technical term is thrown under a bus, why are we being distracted or given something which appears to be so amazing? Now, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant, but there is also something going on behind the scenes energetically, which is building. It's gaining traction, it's gaining momentum. So while we're all celebrating and breathing sighs of relief, I believe that we should be knuckling down and intensifying the efforts of whatever we are doing to bring more energy in, bring more light in, use more of the violet flame. But it doesn't have to be a stressful operation. It doesn't have to be something like, drop everything that we're doing, all hands on deck. We just continue what we're doing without being distracted, kind of like pulled off guard. It's what the process that we're going through at the moment. It's not, we've still got a large area to cover. We've implemented a vast amount of light into the fifth dimensional matrix. It's all anchored, it's all lit up. There is a huge tipping point in the consciousness of humanity where people, I read so many wonderful stories every day, either having been emailed to me or I'll see it in news feed, threads on my news feed on Facebook, where people are genuinely celebrating because they're very kind of what we call fast asleep mother-in-law, sisters, brothers, could even be a partner, have suddenly woken up and they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry I've been calling you mad for the last 18 months. It's true, isn't it? So there's a lot of these wonderful kind of revelations and the third eye kind of being cleared for so many people, and it's incredible. I'm so happy that this is occurring, but it is not a time at this particular moment to just step back and kind of take things too easy. I don't want to put too much emphasis on this morning, but I'm definitely receiving the information to double efforts, treble efforts, bring that light in, anchor it in, and just be very, very discerning about the quality of the news and the information that is being presented. Say, I'll use an analogy here. Last Saturday, I think probably, I might have exaggerated the numbers the previous time on the 26th of April, but last Saturday, I think probably 1 million people hit London, okay, and they were marching in a the vibration is beautiful. Everyone is coming together and realizing their unity, and the people that are marching and for more than anything else, for freedom, for the implementation of this fifth dimensional vibration. They are not just you and I. They are doctors, they are lawyers, they are scientists, they are high profile people who are probably sacrificing their careers in order to speak from the heart about the injustices of what are going on a third dimensional frequency around this planet. But and this is where the moral to this is where I'm going with it is, London was filled. It was absolutely teeming with people, and the BBC News and Media reported that there was something like 350 people rattling around shouting with their placards. So if they want to suppress information, if they want to turn it in a particular direction, they will do. So when something is presented and look at this, all eyes on this, you've got to be very, you've got to ask the question, what is it? What are they trying to draw our attention away from? So eye on the prize, vigilance. Be very, very focused about whatever your mainstream media might be kind of shouting about in your particular neck of the woods, be it the United States, be it Australia, be it the UK, be it Europe. I personally find the best thing to do is just, as I've said so many times previously, is detune from it altogether. Don't necessarily be aware of it, be aware of what's going on, but don't add or engage with it with any emotion. Okay, now this is observing it from a higher platform. It's okay, that is occurring. What does it mean? What are the results? What are the dynamics of that situation that are being presented? And if you are then analysing the energies, you can see what is the intention behind the creation. So more than anything, it's a time to be analytical. It's time to be kind of detached, but very observant. And again, this takes a bit of spiritual discipline and a bit of spiritual practice, unless you've been kind of looking at life like that for a long time. But even then, you still kind of get triggered and pulled into it. So it's almost like chucking the dog a treat, sort of, so to speak. It's like the dog is distracted while you kind of nip in and jump over the gate or over the fence. So something at the moment is building, it's going on. And I know a lot of you are also remarking about the inclusions or the additions of higher galactics, or what we would call extraterrestrials, when we're actually coming or flowing into our life at the moment. And it's very interesting. This has really got my attention. I'm really paying attention to what's going on with this at the moment, because it is my personal belief that we, at the level that we're at the moment, where we're physical souls and the interaction that we have with the other dimensional spaces is fairly limited. We don't see things from a higher dimensional space because they vibrate at a higher frequency. I know we've all got this longing in our hearts to meet the galactics, the souls from other dimensions, from other planets. And the higher our vibration and the higher our frequency, the more likely we are to be able to interact with them. But angels and, say for example, dragons and unicorns, unless they're being seen from the perspective of the open third eye, aren't visible in our daylight reality, simply because we vibrate at a different frequency. So I do believe that we're going to be presented with something which may even come across as a bit of a distraction on that platform as well. It's just generally today a heads up and be discerning and very focused on no deviations. Okay, there is nothing. There is a lot of traction to be gained when we as light workers, as a community or as a powerful working group, have taken our focus away from raising the energy, when we've taken our focus away from the actual goal, because maybe we feel that we've fully achieved what we've set out to achieve, and we haven't yet. Okay, we've still got a considerable portion or period of time where all of these energies need to be kind of anchored, implemented. The changes need to be made in our societies around us, and we're still working out. A lot of us are still working out how this is going to occur. But while we're working this out, while the plan is being kind of rolled out around us, as it is all completely pre-planned, the most important thing to do is keep that light anchored in. If you're feeling the urge, or if you're feeling the time like, oh yeah, brilliant, job's done, step back, relax, take a bit of a breather, that is the point at which it's time to double down and intensify the quantity of light coming in. And if you don't double it, then you treble it, or you do even more than that. It's almost like you feel that out breath, that relaxing, jump in, put your foot in the door, and put as much light into the situation as humanly possible. It's the same kind of thing. Say, take example like bike racing, the Tour de France, or I mean, I've been a racing cyclist for most of my life, and there would always be that period. And you're in a road race and it's fast and it's hard, and you're kind of clinging onto the back of the bunch, and there doesn't seem to be any relent or any break, and everybody's going as fast and as hard as they can. All of a sudden the bunch will slow down, and the energy and all the riders would kind of come back together again. And it would only and that is the point where somebody would clip off the front, they'd attack and get another 30-second gap, 45 seconds, then up to a minute. And because everybody's relaxed, everyone's taking it easy, the legs have stopped hurting, this rider gets away and they win the race. This is where I feel that we are at the moment. It's like the bunch has come together, everyone's getting their breath back, the oxygen's returning to the legs, the lactic acid is disappearing, and somebody clips off the front and wins it. So it's time to double down, okay? Time to really, really bring that light in. If you are a healer, just allow that healing energy to flow through you. If you love your crystals, make sure that all of them have got a point at which they're anchored into higher light sources. Most of the connections that we have with the higher realms do so most effectively in our space by anchoring into crystals or flowing through us. So if you've seen my previous videos about kind of connecting or anchoring in pillars of light, or working, say, with the Pleiadians, they like to use crystals to anchor into. All of you will have crystals around in your houses, so just utilize them at the moment. Even if you're not doing anything particularly specific or special with them, take a few moments to just kind of grab your crystal, attune it to your energy, and invite your favorite angel, your archangel, an ascended master that works with you, to anchor into that crystal and allow that energy to expand. Because at the moment, the crystal networks are communicating with each other in a very powerful way. It's almost like the roots of, if you say, this beautiful tree that I'm sat underneath, this beautiful tree, its roots are interlinked with all of the other beautiful trees, and that goes on, and all of the roots of the trees and the plants, they all communicate with each other on a very high frequency network. They know what each other are feeling and thinking. Well, it's the same with the crystals at the moment. The crystals are linked in with each other. They are sending energy and communications to each other, and this is all part of the 5th dimensional grid that we're building. We're doing it as well, but obviously our vibrations are far more kind of prone to flux on a daily basis. We live this kind of like roller coaster life, you know, where we're bouncing between various dimensional frequencies on a daily basis, depending on what our thought trains are. So make sure the things around you are very stable. Crystals are the best thing to do that. And wherever you see or feel that more light is needed, add it, okay? Say, for example, you might live near a city, or you might know somebody who lives in a city. Take, for example, London. If you take 5 minutes a day to call in the archangels, say Archangel Shamuel or Archangel Metatron, ask them to bring a column of light down into the town centre, the city centre of London. Spread that column of light out. Say you live, or you know somebody who lives in Perth in Australia, bring a column of light down, expand that through, create a doorway for the unicorns to come in. Say you work with the higher galactics, or say Commander Ashtar, or again the Pleiadians or the Andromedans. Just call their energy in, anchor it into a crystal or into a column of light in a city or a town or an area, and allow them to flow in. A lot of these spiritual energies need permission to do so, or they're waiting for our initiative to bring that in. So I'm saying it again, double, treble, or intensify what is coming in. What's coming in from the heavens at the moment is very powerful, and all of this light that's pouring into the planet, it is far more effectively utilized and distributed, and kind of hits the spot a lot better if the framework here on the planet is ready for it to do so. And believe me, it is coming in for the solstice on the 21st. It is really, really going to be pouring into this planet. And I'm still kind of waiting for the information for what will occur between the solstice and August. It's almost like this incredible kind of rolling painting canvas creation that's going on around us at the moment. But whatever it is that's out there at the moment that is asking you to take your eye off the prize or off the ball, just be aware of it. Be aware of what it's doing, what it's calling to you, whether it be new, where it might be information about extraterrestrial contact, it might be a politician having all of their information leaked online. Whatever that is, acknowledge it, obviously, but keep doing what you're doing at the highest level possible. So I hope this information is useful for you this morning. And yeah, it's certainly prompting me to kind of be aware of what is going on, because we've got stuff building. It's getting very exciting out there now. And of course, the higher our vibrations, the easier we will just simply roll through it. Everything is becoming so obvious now. It's becoming so visible. Now, this is obviously the end of the week. Hope you'll have a beautiful weekend. On Monday, Diana Cooper and I are working with the Councils of Light again. And appropriately enough, the Councils of Earth, the Councils of Ascended Earth, Pilshay, have asked us to come together and present another powerful connection. So if you're joining us on Monday night, it'd be lovely to see you there, and that's going to be an absolute cracker. And after that, it's David and I are coming together for the fourth and sadly the final one in our Archangel series. So the information's on my website, and again, there's going to be updates about what I'm going to be doing on the solstice as well. So sending you all loads of love. Hope you have a beautiful end to the week, beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.